Hello and welcome to my channel. In this episode, we are going to learn about Chainlink. What is Chainlink? Why am I personally going to go buy more Chainlink after this video? And why am I so bullish on it? Both short term for this next bull run, that has already begun, and long term, because there are tokens that pump temporarily that are just like a quick gain. And then there are crypto projects or tokens that are long-term plays, and they both pump immediately and in phases, and they also just continue to rise and grow throughout time. That said, let's get started. If this sounds good to you, please like and subscribe. This channel is dedicated to you, and my desire is to explain crypto concepts that are complicated in the most simple way possible and share with you the top crypto projects that I believe can make you the most money and make the biggest impact in your financial future. All right, so let's get started. So first, let's take a look at Chainlink's website. What is Chainlink? So what is Chainlink? If we look at its website, we see that right off the bat, it says connecting the world to blockchains. Well, that's a lot to unpack if you're new to crypto. What are blockchains and what does this mean, right? So let's just scroll down its website. I found a couple really good ways of explaining, explanations on its own website. So where my mouse is, it basically says, Chainlink services are powered by decentralized, meaning they're not centralized. They're the opposite of controlled by one entity. It's controlled by a decentralized Oracle networks. And it basically connects existing systems to any public or private blockchain. It's amazing. But let's unpack this a little bit. So first, let's Google, what is a blockchain? So it's basically, as I highlight here, it's a public digital ledger. What does that mean? It means it's basically a record, like in accounting, there's record. It's a record that documents all transactions and gives each transaction that happens a unique hash or transaction ID. This is powerful because, as we would know, one of the biggest problems that all countries, all people have encountered is the corruptibility, the ability of government officials or powerful people, or even your bank or business partner, to go and change the records, the record of what happened, your finances or an event or, court records. This has created a massive sense of lack of faith and belief in the system. This is where so many people are disappointed. So this is what's technically extremely powerful about blockchains, is that it's immutable. Bitcoin's blockchain anyway, because every crypto token has its own chain or decentralized ledger, which means record of its own transactions. So no one can lie anymore and say, oh, that didn't happen, or, change the data, because it's documented on chain. So this is what's so powerful about blockchain and crypto in general. But let's switch back, because we will learn, or you will learn, as I've learned, that there are both public and private blockchains. And there are advantages. Not everyone who chooses a private blockchain is trying to control or manipulate the information. That's not oftentimes why people go with private chains or records. It's mainly because of the speed. And that's the biggest conversation. One of the biggest conversations you'll hear in crypto is the speed of transactions, right? Solana, as I covered in a previous video, if you go check out my channel on Solana, is known for being very fast. But Bitcoin, which is one of the largest, the largest chain in the world, is slow. It takes several minutes for a transaction to go through on Bitcoin's blockchain. So there are pros and cons to different types of blockchains. And oftentimes companies or enterprises or even crypto projects will pick private blockchains because they can control them. It's a smaller network and they can control the speed, right? So there's public, private, and then there's a hybrid. That said, every company or crypto project is usually running on its own blockchain or network. And the biggest challenge, one of the biggest challenges in crypto and in the world at large, is how do we get these blockchains or networks to communicate seamlessly so that there's trust again, because we're not trusting in each other. We're trusting in immutable, incorruptible, technology-based records that are just going to show you the facts. And so that's what's so amazing. But everyone is trying to figure out how can we interoperate, right? Within the crypto space, there's Solana's network, there's Cosmos network, there's Ethereum's network, there's all these different networks. But how can we get them to communicate? And that's where Chainlink comes in. Chainlink is the glue, basically, that allows for all networks to communicate with each other in a decentralized way, so no one controls this information, which is why it's such a sleeping giant. And so it's just massive. But let's go back to understanding further what Chainlink is, right? So we know it's connecting blockchains, but what it specifically does, and the way that it does this, is through, as we read in the beginning, a system of oracles, decentralized oracles. And in this article, it explains what an oracle is. So let's just read the first bit. Let's not get overwhelmed. So basically, blockchain oracles are entities, right? Like places that allows external systems to execute real world inputs and outputs. So imagine a net, right? Like a net. I'm just gonna do it with my hand, right? Everywhere my fingers connect, like make like a grid, would be like an oracle, right? It's like a connecting place where information is exchanged. So that is my best explanation of what the power of what Chainlink provides, both literally the service it provides. It provides this decentralized oracle system that allows for all chains to communicate. And what's so remarkable about it is that it's communicating not just within chains within the crypto space, different ecosystems, Solana, Ethereum, Cosmos, as I said, but it's also communicating with the external world, or what we call Web 2. So it's communicating with governments. It can communicate with governments, with schools, with financial institutions, as we'll see in a minute. It can communicate with hospitals. And it has an API that will integrate with these existing systems and extract from it data that can then be cross-referenced with other systems, right? And it's all validated through this decentralized oracle system that cross-references all the networks. So it's amazing. This is why Swift is actually partnering with them. This is another major reason I believe, and many in the crypto space believe, that Chainlink is going to be a massive giant this bull run and in the years to come because of its B2B play, its enterprise adoption with massive companies. Let's take a look at one of the major partnerships it has in the works. We can see here where my mouse is. It's intent. That's the status. It's not actualized. It's an intent process. But this is what is coming. This is just a glimpse of the enterprise B2B partnership that it has in the works. So it's it's working out a deal with DTCC, which is simplified, okay, but you can also read on the screen here. It's an American post-trade financial services company that provides clearing, settlements, for all of these different financial services, right? But this is what's most remarkable. If we scroll down, in 2011, so imagine how much more it has generated, because this is over 10 years old. In 2011, DTCC was valued, like the transactions it transacted, it helped settle or clear, were valued close to 1.7 quadrillion, not billion, not million, quadrillion dollars worldwide. And Chainlink will be providing the Oracle service and taking a small fee for every single one of these transactions. Can you imagine how much it's going to bring in? It's just mind-blowing. And if we look at the chart, this is the last year. This is Chainlink's last year. Just in August, even October, it was at like what, $6, $7, $8 worth? Now, in the last like 2-3 months, it's broken out, and today is right around $15.40. But so we know it's in bull mode. Okay, it just looks like it's consolidating a little bit sideways motion here. But let's zoom in to the last 7 days. A lot of red. The last day, all red. This is why it's an amazing time to buy. Not financial advice once again, but I will personally be buying because it's a sleeping giant and it's just a matter of time before it explodes and make us a lot of money. Exciting times. Anyway, that brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned and were able to understand in a more tactical way, simple way, what is Chainlink, why it's so important, why it's a sleeping giant, and why now could potentially, do your own research, be a good time to buy, and why I will be buying more of Chainlink. All right. Well, if this sounds good to you, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video where I will be covering the next top token that I am personally investing in, and I'll explain why. All right, talk to you tomorrow. Ciao.